What was the point of all this if he's gonna chuck the sword? Come on, man. What is up, guys? John here, aka Bruce Lee. I'm a kickboxing teacher here from Canada, and today we're looking at Blood and Bone, amazing final fight. This is actually a special request from one of you, so thank you very much for viewing, you guys, and commenting and giving me your thoughts and giving me ideas on what to do for my next video. Now, this one has Michael J. White in it. If you don't know, he's in like that Yuri Boyka series, like I think it's Never Back Down as well. Like he's acting in quite a few things. Like he's absolutely like massive and like ripped. But he's one of the few like kind of like bodybuild type people I know in terms of the acting world who's also like a really legit martial artist. I think he has like 7 black belts or something ridiculous like that. And actually he teaches a lot on his YouTube channel as well. So like I base a lot of my side kicks based on what he does. So super legit martial artist, you guys. And I'm super excited to see this, not only because it's a recommendation, but because Michael J. White is just an awesome guy to take a look at and to learn from. Now, Blood and Bone, I haven't seen this movie myself, but we will be breaking it down based on 2 criteria, okay? On a scale of 1 to 10 on how realistic I thought it was, and a 1 to 10 on how entertaining it was, since really that's kind of like the main purpose of the movie. Alright, so let's get started right now. Even in like a baggy shirt, Michael J. White looks massive. Okay. Nice feint. So, you know what's funny about that is I like it's not quite this dramatic or like this, like you don't sit this still in a fight. Like usually kind of like you're a bit more flowy, kind of like a 50-50 step going or like a split step going, but like that whole like feint thing, and the guy like is like and if he tries to feint you, you don't fall for it. Like you inherently have an advantage, because if you can feint someone and force certain reactions or certain compliances with what you want to do, you can absolutely manipulate them as part of your combo or just like in general. So that's pretty cool. Like that, I think that's pretty realistic, to be honest. Nice. That's also pretty like realistic too, of like trying to distract someone, like look away and then fight, like or like look away and punch, like Sean O'Malley does that in the UFC right now, or like just in general. That's again, that's a real life thing. Like in Muay Thai, a common thing you can do that's like kind of like it's kind of sneaky but kind of not, is that like I like to fix my shorts all the time, because sometimes I'll like fix my shorts or like to kind of pull it up, and sometimes I'll look down, and if I see them look down, I just throw a kick. So nice triple kick. Nice spin. That all pretty realistic stuff there, guys. More like karate style. Nice slips. Oh, he let his arm get grabbed. Very nice. So I backed it up a little bit there, guys, just to cover a few more things here. You're going to see some really quick motions here. Maybe a triple kick, an exchange of kind of punches. And Michael J. White starts slipping his punches by turning his head and shoulders. That's really good fundamentals here. And it's going to start in just a few seconds. Oops, I backed up too far. My bad. But right here, those slips, very real. Nice. And then the way he breaks his grip here, I think he didn't have to do all this effort to like elbow the guy's arm down. All you have to do is get both your hands on, in this case, like the right arm, so the one underneath his chin, and just pry it down like this. It's a lot less energy, and you're going to grab it and flip him just the way he did. So I thought this is a little bit more dramatic than needed, but that's okay. And then how the guy like flips out of it, like that could technically happen. I find that if you do pull off that, I find that like wrist flipping motion is kind of hard to pull off. But if you did pull it off, I think it's going to be pretty hard to just kind of like cartwheel out of it. But good effect of the movie for sure. Nice double kick. So the dodges that are about to happen here, I think those are fine. But the one thing I really don't like in these movies, and then a lot of them does it, and unfortunately this one does too, is like when you block someone's entire leg with just your palm. I don't think that's really that really happens. So Michael J. White's gonna do it here in a second. So he does a couple of snap kicks, And the guy snaps a few kicks back, and then so these dodges that Michael J. White's doing, where he's like leaning away, I think that's pretty real. But where you're like stopping someone's entire leg by just slapping or like using just a little bit of your forearm, like I don't think that really happens. Like unless those kicks have like zero power, there's no way just the palm of your hand will stop someone's entire leg if they're truly like meaning to kick you hard. The acrobatics are really good though, and honestly, unbutton the suit jacket, man. Nice. Michael J. White's spins here are pretty cool. Now they're in the 50-50 of like a Muay Thai clinch. That was nice. That's good MMA. So here they start getting tied up where they have like their arms around each other. And I'm going to play it for a second. And what you'll notice here is I call this like a 50-50 position, kind of based on like what Ryan Hall describes in Jiu-Jitsu, where like you have one arm behind their neck and one arm on their arm. And then the other guy has the same thing. So kind of like in the it's 50-50 in terms of positioning, and that like neither of you has a really clear advantage because you both have one arm on the shoulder or neck and the other arm on the forearm. What ideally you should be doing here though is that like you see how far away their faces are and their hips are. They should be going right up against each other in that Muay Thai clinch, because otherwise the knees or just like wrestling is gonna happen a lot more here, and you're gonna have a lot less control. And what ends up happening here is that knee lands. That trip, I don't think would have worked in real life, just because, like, again, like, when you would trip someone like that, you usually want to, like, if you trip them with your right leg, you really want to have that arm around their neck and to turn them really quickly, and the other arm either on their shoulder, underneath their shoulder, or kind of an underhook position, or really able to control that arm to steer them down, and your hips have to be close to have that leverage. With that spacing, I don't think that the weight that guy in the suit is, I don't think you could trip Michael J. White. Like, he's big, he's strong, and like just playing heavier than you. If you don't have like really good leverage, I don't really see how this would work. And then he falls down and it goes into an armbar. That part is pretty real though. Actually, he's ideally both of his legs are across Michael J. White's torso. Right now he has one leg around the neck and the other leg around kind of like the hips. I don't think that's ideal. I think you should have both legs going kind of straightwards, and so you can pry that arm apart. Ooh, and that's... I've never seen that work. I don't want to say that doesn't work, but that'd be... You have to have some insane hip flexibility to be able to hit, not only to reach the guy's face, but also hit hard enough to make him let go. That could be possible. If someone comment below. Good front kick. That was a good spin. Yeah, finally, take off the suit jacket, man. Like, why? Maybe take off the tie, too. He's looking a little bit more relaxed here. Oh, I like that. So that was actually a double feint. In a sense, it's only one feint. So Michael J. White, let's back up a second. He goes arm up to fake a punch, snap kick to the leg so he could punch for real. So it's like, yeah, the kick did land, but he's really like, he's throwing like one feint isn't working, so he's gonna throw two feints to land something significant, which is the third punch. Like, oh, you'll see here, he'll stick his arm out, kick, punch. The only objective of that was that last punch, but that setup is very, very necessary. Like, unfortunately, like, you can't just walk up to someone and just punch them straight. Like, they're gonna react. He tries it again. It works. I doubt it would work a third time. Nice. I like that double snap kick where he kind of like brings up his knee to chamber it, and he goes one body, one head. Really quick on that knee snap. Very real. Nice sweep of the leg. That absolutely works, you guys. Again, the one thing I don't like is that Michael J. White's blocking some of the kicks with just his forearm. I don't like blocking like that, personally. So the guy's looking a little bit more worried. Okay. That was a good spin. If he landed that, that'd be over. I like that double spin. Like, use the momentum in the first one. It missed, right? I think Michael J. White knew he was going to miss, so he just carried the momentum into, like, he went 360, knowing it would miss, and just go 720 to hit him the second time. Very real. It takes a lot of balance, though. Guys looking a little bit more worried. Should be. Ooh, I like that. Jab into a left hook. Right roundhouse. Very real. This kind of just standing up like this, being like, I find that doesn't really work, though. Like, you should really be in stance and, like, take your opponent seriously, because you never know when you underestimate someone, they just, like, knock you out. Whoa. Oh, that's cool. Oh, hyperextend that knee. So that whole thing where he like jumped up and rolled, like you can do flying armbar or flying rolls into that into submission attempts. I've never seen this one work in like an MMA fight before, so I don't know if that's realistic or not, to be honest. I think it's a bit of a stretch, but. And also the other thing that's kind of weird is that like, why is the guy not struggling to get out of this position? Like, yes, like Michael J. White here, he's like on top of him, but why? Like, if that was me, I'd be like squirming out, trying to get out, not just sitting there letting Michael J. White have a stare off with this this guy on a throne. So Michael J. White taps out. So he actually surrenders the fight, knowing that he's basically won. Kind of a sign of humility. So there's this whole thing with the guy's like limping right now. There's actually like, technically speaking, there was nothing that you know super hurt his knee, so he's kind of doing that for effect. Michael J. White did not hyperextend the knee there. He could have totally knee barred him and it chose not to. So I don't know why he's limping.
Winner by forfeit, Rice.
That's weird. What's going on in this movie, guys? Someone comment below. Oh, wait a minute. He's pulling out a sword. Everyone's running away. I think that's kind of weird. Like, you know, if someone pulls out a gun, I think you absolutely should like, get out of there just in case you get caught in the crossfire. But it's like, I think a sword has a low propensity of hitting a bystander. But whatever, man. Let's see what happens here. So I actually have I'm not a sword expert by any means, but there's a few pits here in the beginning where he started, where he goes in and just try to drive it straight, and then kind of turns his blade over like this. Those moves look pretty realistic, and that, like, you know, like in a lot of like in like the Star Wars movies, where like they're like have the lightsabers over their head, they do like a bunch of flips, and like they're blocking up here. Like, it's all pointless, right? Like, unless it's actually coming into the space of your body, there's no reason to block anything. So what he kind of does there was like short and quick to the point slashes. I think those two are very real, but this whole like bang into a spin, like, I think people in like, at least in the samurai way of like sword fighting, like they spin a lot less than you think, and they only spin when necessary. So this whole like what he's doing there, like these wide long strokes that are like gonna like going like whoa whoa whoa, like I think that's not really realistic. Most of the time you see like samurai fighters like doing sword play, it's like bang bang, like they're trying to do like the shortest amount of range of motion as possible to hit the target. So if you run up to something like like you're leaving your body wide open for 3 seconds, and the other guy will just pull out a sword and poke you like this, like, so you know what I mean. So I think this is not super realistic based on what I know, which is not a lot. You know, I'm a kickboxing teacher, not a samurai guy. This guy's got just a regular broadsword, I'm guessing. I don't know enough about swords, you guys. And then he ditches it. What was the point of all this if he's gonna chuck the sword? Come on, man. So he wants to fight with just the hilt. I think it's like not a pacifist thing, but like Michael J. White like is showing that, like, and this is like a really true like martial arts values here. Like, you don't need to hurt someone to prove your point. Like, violence is not the answer. So Michael J. White is gonna fight with the hilt because, you know, he'll do enough to protect himself and, like, let's say win the fight, but he's not trying to like kill anyone. And I think humility is a big part of martial arts. If you ever see guys like, if you ever see those keyboard warriors on like Facebook being like, hey, like, you know, like, let's like putting up videos of them training like 24/7 and asking to see your videos and just like arguing about what's right and wrong, like all that ego stuff. I think for true martial artists, it doesn't come up as much as you think, because like you only want to prove something to yourself at the end of the day. And I think this whole like mentality here of not wanting to kill the guy just for the sake of like pride or ego, super real. So you see what Michael J. White there, he parries and just hits the guy's leg. I think that's what realistic swordplay is like. Like, you don't need to do like these like wide arcing spins. Like, it just doesn't really seem practical to me. Ooh, I like that. I didn't like the low guard, but the whole like parry one hit. Like, if all you need to do is bang bang to hit someone, like, why would you do all that spinning stuff, right? So I think this is pretty cool. Nice. So what the other guy should be doing, the one that's actually equipped the real sword, is that what's happening right now is that he'll do a strike, he'll get parried and countered right away. What you gotta do, guys, and this is for kickboxing and I'm guessing for swordplay, is that like if one move's not working and just like going straight in doesn't work, you gotta start using feints, use lateral movements, find different angles, and do something that works different. Because if you get parried and hit once, okay, maybe that's on them. If you go parried and hit twice, that's on you. If you go a third time, like, you're just being illogical. You're just doing stuff that doesn't really work, and repeatedly. So that's it for Blood and Bone, you guys. That was a pretty cool scene. The only thing I would have liked to see more from an entertainment perspective is that, like, I thought they could have had more background music, but maybe, like, at this point in the movie, which, again, I haven't seen, it just makes more sense to be, like, more quiet and intense. But I like background music, guys. I like background music, so whatever. On a scale of 1 to 10 on realism, I'm going to give it a 9 out of 10. Michael J. White and a lot of their strikes were really, really good. The only two things I didn't like were, again, the blocking with just your palm. I don't think that really comes up. The other thing I didn't like is that, like, the whole, like, spin into a submission, like where Michael J. White like, grabbed the guy and like kind of like rolled over. I think that part's real, but the way he's holding him down, like I feel there's no reason that guy was pinned to the floor, and so I didn't like that a whole lot. Like maybe he was feeling pain or he's just tired, but I don't think so. So still pretty realistic though overall, you guys. I think that sword fighting on Michael J. White's side was realistic. So even though the other guy in the suit, I don't know why people are fighting in suits all the time, but the other guy, the second guy that was wearing a suit, I don't think his swordplay was super real, but I thought Michael J. White's was, so I still think this is a realistic scene, and that's why, like, Michael J. White was winning that sword fight, because he was doing stuff that was just practical and realistic. On a scale of 1 to 10 in terms of realism, I would give it an 8. I do love Michael J. White, but I didn't think, like, and this is where, like, it's like sometimes you want to give up the realism to do more flashy stuff. Like, I know some people believe in that. I don't necessarily believe in that, but I thought, like, the whole, like, atmosphere, like, the lack of music and, like, the lack of intensity of the fight, like, it seemed kind of like they're almost, like, especially against the first guy, it almost felt like sparring. Like, that's, I'm more intense than that, even just, like, light sparring my training partners right now. So I thought that was a little bit weird considering it's like the final fight in the movie, but it's still really good. It's easy to appreciate martial arts in movies like this when you can feel that it's realistic. So I love that. But again, like, the intensity there wasn't what I look for personally. I'm more of like an Ong Bak, Jackie Chan. I like to feel like there's a lot of gravity in the moment. So let me know what you guys think. Like, did you agree, disagree? Did I rate too high, too low? Is there anything I missed? Please let me know, because I really love hearing from you guys. So I hope you enjoyed the video, and also comment below any other videos you'd like me to do, because it helps me decide. You know, I don't like making decisions. So anyways, I hope you enjoyed it, guys. Please support the channel, and I'll see you next time. Bruce Lee, out.